Hi, everybody. Leanne Holitza here at the Healing Studio. Time for our weekly Oracle check-in. I'm Leanne Holitza. If you don't know who I am, you can find out more information about me at insightfulinspirations.com. In order to engage here, you're going to type me, please, and I will get to as many people as I can as with the time we have. There's several different streams coming in, so it may look like I'm favoring YouTube, and that's just because YouTube lets people comment earlier, and Facebook makes you wait. So I can see the YouTubers first. So little hack, go subscribe to my YouTube channel and say me please a little earlier and you'll get to the top of the list. I'm going to say hi to the people at the bottom of the list just so you know I see you and I know you are right on time. So hi Stephanie, hi Crystal, hi Denise, hi Erin. Just FYI, I am coming and it'll probably be closer to the end of the hour. But here's the thing. It's worth listening to the whole thing because we start to get themes, we start to hear messages over and over, and then it becomes a group message for all of us, okay? A couple of announcements. It's December, you guys, December. So I will be doing a December reading today too. But December holds intention and affirmations, which is going to happen on the 22nd of December. There is virtual and in-person spots available there. We are also hosting our normal things like group healings and that kind of thing. And then we'll be rolling into next year where Self-Healing 101 starts in January, the January 9th. And that's like your opportunity to really learn intuitive energies about law of attraction, about your guides, subtle energies, all those things. Okay. So if you're interested in learning from me, that would be where to get in. There's normally only one or two of those classes offered in a year. So that's happening soon. Okay, let's get started here. I'm using the Shaman's Dream. I've got some shungite as our friend today. Shungite's really good for just our kind of technologically poisoned world here. Helps just kind of balance everything. And then I'm using some Merlin spray from Amanda Ellis, which is it's connection and mentorship, ascended master spray. So those are our helpers today. Oh, and tomorrow, you guys, it's Cyber Monday. And so if you want to shop for sprays or for crystals or anything on my site, you can do that and get 15% off tomorrow. All right, here we go. December. We're going to do December, the week of December 1st. Here we go. Okay, lacking presence, a bit crunchy here, you guys. There's lots of things to do, lots of things to listen to. It could be the time of year we're kind of coming into. We feel busy, but the presence energy is very much saying, don't over listen, don't over examine, because that's going to burn you out. Okay. This week, use your power by being conscious. Okay, your awareness is your superpower. Where your attention flows is where your energy goes. That is your power this week. Check for power leaks, your energy going to places you don't intend it to go. And that will help you stay solid in the week. By the end of the week, communication is a little wonky. We are in Mercury retrograde, so that kind of makes sense. But just being impeccable with your words the best that you can, but know that there might be some upsets in communication and understanding by the end of the week. Use that power wisely. All right. This is the start of your personal reading. Okay, so if you're watching this later, thank you for watching later. If you're watching live, here is your first card. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3. You're going to just tune in to whichever number resonates with you. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so just tune in. All right, this week's focus, for those of you who picked 1, is Will-o'-the-Wisps, treasures hidden in the shadows. Some shadow work can be done here. It's been a good time for shadow work for all of us, and just cleaning up those places that you reject of yourself and you reject of others, and give yourself an opportunity to really do the shadow work this week. For those of you who picked 2, you're going to be working with the hollow bone and being teachable. Okay, you don't have to know everything. You can start with beginner's mind sometimes. It's really healthy to do that. Start over and start fresh. Number 3s, you are going to be working with skywriting. So you're going to be working in your fates, okay? So paying attention to things that are actually just kind of already there, already helping you in your synchronicities and things, okay? All right. let's get started with the me pleases. Okay, starting at the top. Taryn, you made it in at 6 a.m. this morning. Early birds get the worm, I guess. Okay, second time we've seen this. We already doubled down. Will o' the wisp, treasuring hidden in the shadows. Okay, so work on your shadow work. This means lean into the places that are uncomfortable. Lean into the places that you think have to be perfect and let them not be perfect. Okay, this week, really let the gifts be showing up in the dark spots. Okay. Gina, you're going to focus on the magician's sword, okay? Confidence in your magic. Remember to use your magic. Remember to see how it works. And remember, sometimes the universe answers in very funny ways, right? Sometimes the universe is like, oh, you want cheesecake? Okay, well, here's a picture of cheesecake. And you're like, well, I kind of meant I want to eat it, but that's okay. So just be aware that what you're thinking and what you're manifesting is happening. Remember that power card, okay? Okay, blossoming lotus, you got the wall, you got some obstacles this week, okay? Just work with it. The obstacles sometimes are a gift or they hold us back so we don't go too fast, okay? So just really giving yourself an awareness that the obstacles, they may not be fun, but use your power wisely and see how you can engage with it, okay? Shannon, you're going to be working with the stars in the sky, limitless possibilities, okay? So really seeing yourself as part of something bigger, see yourself as like maybe the options that you didn't know existed are going to start showing up. If you don't like what's showing up, say, yes, thank you. What else is possible? Okay. Heidi, for you this week, you're going to want to be focusing on the root girl, which is the disowned self. Okay. So go find the parts of yourself that you've let go of. Go find the parts of yourself that you didn't necessarily, let blossom or bloom. And see if you could do some self-retrieval this week with that power that you've got. Burnout proof Katie, moon maiden for you, some new beginnings. Okay. So it's new moon time, a good time to really manifest into, new beginnings, letting things go. And we're about to get into 2025. So I think that you have a good opportunity for more to be showing up. We know you're in a big time. Let's see what happens. Okay, your focus this week, Courtney, is sky dancers and surrender. Okay, so this is like working with the synchronicity. If you ask for it, now let it come. The power is what you pay attention to this week. And if you can just say, I surrender. I know that's not always easy, but that will be your magic this week. Diane, horned cactus, resourcefulness. Okay, thank you, by the way, for the lovely card. You are going to be working with this. The cactus is like, it resources itself when there's not like a, rainy season kind of thing. It stores inside itself what it needs. So this week, really kind of go into your own resourcefulness, lean into yourself, okay? I know that sometimes that sounds a little daunting, but I think it's going to be good. Cynthia, you are working on repairing the veil, some forgiveness energy this week. Nothing has gone wrong. Everything is being done for you, with you, not to you, is kind of that message, okay? So working on forgiveness this week. Elizabeth, wonder how wicked was. Here is Joyful Muse for you. Inspiration. Have a little fun this week. Just focus on what inspires you to be happy, what inspires you to be playful. And then see where you can go from there. Okay. Jenny, you're going to work in the hand. The universe is your partner. Okay. So this is already, you've got this. It's coming to fruition. Trust it. Trust what's already there for you unfolding in front of you because you desired it to be there, and then go from there. Okay. So just really letting yourself lean into that the universe is working with you. Okay. And if you want, ask for more help. Just throw it out to those unseen helpers. Cara, you've got skywriting. If you picked 3 at the beginning, it's doubling down for you. This is basically like what's in your fate. Work with your fate this week. Sometimes when we have like children with somebody, that's sometimes part of our fate. When we meet people in certain ways, that could be part of our fate. So just focusing on how your fate is playing out right now. Tatiana, you're going to work with the eyes of the eagle. So rising above the fray, which means you're just going to soar above it. You're going to see the big picture. You're not going to get in the middle of any of it. You're just going to stay above. Okay. All right, Tanya. Benefactor for you, grace and generosity. Okay, so card is basically saying that things can come when you are in your grace and your generosity, then others around you will feel gracious and generous as well. So really sinking into that, being the benefactor of your own grace and generosity. By giving it, you get it. Okay. All right, Mountain River and Tommy. Okay, third time's the charm for the will of the wisp, which means we are all working in our shadows. You are working in your shadow. So I'm going to read this to us just so we can kind of get the hint. All right, because this is for all of us. It says, Will-o'-the-wisp hovers in her luminescent glory above the twilight moon of your life, whispering for you to step into the fog, into the mystery, the unknown. You have been invited by her before, but though intrigued, you refused her invitations. If it would be safer, you decided to remain in the journey you know. While you always had a choice as to whether to follow her or not, you never know when you might encounter her again. In this sense, turning away has its own consequences. Why is the known so appealing? It's only when you awake up to the restrictions, its soft prison or gold cage, that you realize there must be more. The will-o'-the-wisp has come to you once again to offer you magic, but you will have to sacrifice certainty in the pursuit of adventure. Your comfort zone for danger and discovery, or well-trodden paths for detours that can be very, very well lead you astray. Or will they? Can you accept that losing yourself will bring you closer to your true self? There's more there. If we see this guy again, we'll read some more. Work in your shadows. Shadow work, you guys. I'm actually currently writing a shadow class, so an online class. And I have one on Learn It Live already, if anybody's interested in learning more about shadow work. Tommy, you're going to be working in the hollow bone. Okay, so if you picked 2 at the beginning, this is doubling down. This card is basically saying be teachable. You don't have to know everything. Learn, be open to what can come from the people around you. Have a little space for new wisdom to come in from others. Sam, you are working with the lost compass. Get back to integrity. You might have gotten off track. Okay, so use your power and your consciousness to pay attention to where you are headed and what is going to work in your favor in that way. Okay. Janelle, thanks for stopping in yesterday. Okay, Janelle, you got the closing of the door. Something is completing. Something is done this week, okay? It's okay to close it. If it's done, it's done. Let it be done. And if you don't know what it is yet, go ahead and ask your guides what needs to be done this week. And then use your power to pay attention and see, okay? All right, Donnie, you are going to work with the fallen angel and spiritual narcolepsy. Okay. You've gotten away from some things about your own divinity, about your own energy. So this card is kind of like, wake up, don't be asleep. So that's what this card is asking you to do this week, is focus on where you have fallen away from your own divine truth. Christy, cosmic womb for you. Go back into the divine feminine. Remember that sometimes things just need to gestate. That's what the divine womb can be about, not necessarily doing anything, just resting and being. Kira, you're going to focus on mindful, careful with your group think. Be around the people who think in positive ways so that you can have your positive energy too. All right. Ugh, I'm on the wrong internet again. I don't know how to quit doing that. All right. Finn. Okay. Stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Be a big thinker this week. Think beyond what you know. See if you can figure out what would be best for you as far as going further into, maybe this, especially with that shadow card, get out of the unknowns get out of the knowns this week. Go into the unknowns. Okay. Kimberly. Okay. Your overflow and overwhelm of plenty. Okay. So sometimes it's great to be overwhelmed with too much, but also sometimes it's time to declutter, give some things away, focus on, bringing down the, sense of overwhelm by giving yourself space. Juan Carlos, for you, focus on your joyful muse inspiration. Okay. Have fun. Find the music that inspires you. Find the people that inspire you. Just be joyful this week. That's a nice agenda, huh? Hannah and Isabella. Hannah, you're working with unmarked trails and revelations. Sometimes unmarked trails are the best trails because you get to find the stuff that nobody else has found because nobody's been there because there's no trail. So kind of going into the unknown. Maybe don't answer anybody else's call to a map of how your life should be this week. Just focus on what you want to do. Isabella, you're going to be focusing on straddling worlds. Okay. So you're wandering between realms. So that could be that something's changing. You're going to be moving, or you're going to be like back and forth between something for this week. Okay. So just kind of know that that's happening and it'll stabilize later. Keep with your power. Carrie, you are working with the Moon Maiden, new beginnings. Okay. So this is the beginning of things. The Moon Maiden is very much about the feminine energy, about being in the divine feminine, being in the wisdom of that. Sometimes you can see more clearly in the darkness that you're part of something bigger than when the day is shining bright. Okay. So just embrace that this week. Janice, work with the eye of the eagle, rise above the fray, stay above it. Keep your eyes open about what the bigger picture is. If there's an invitation to get in the fray, you can say, no, thank you. It's okay. All right. Kimberly, third time's the charm for the joyful muse. All right, you guys, we all get to do shadow work and be joyfully inspired by it. Yay, go into the unknown and be inspired. Here you go. Ready? The joyful muse invites you to be more playful, to have more mirth and joy in your life. You become boring or to yourself, even as others continue to find you interesting. Circumstances have dulled your edges. It's time to change, not the things around you, but your attitude. Blow the morning kiss to yourself in the mirror, smile to a stranger, wink to a child, be mildly but elegantly inappropriate. Okay, shadow work, going into the unknown, but doing it joyfully with a good attitude. Okay, Lisa, you're dancing on one foot. You got some balancing act this week, but look, she's doing it very gently. I don't know if you can. This card kind of is hard to see, but see how she's this green. That's her one foot's up here, and there's one down here. So just balance this week. We're really working on balancing, and see how you can do it effortlessly and with your own support, your own equilibrium. Okay, Tiff, you're working with the Woodwives, which is adaptability. Okay, sometimes we have to be flexible. Sometimes we have to adapt to what's going on. Sometimes it's not what we asked for. Sometimes it's what we need. Okay, so this week, adaptability. Kalina, you are working with the benefactor, grace and generosity. Okay, so your grace, your generosity is the benefactor for you to also receive grace and generosity. Okay, so really focus on saying yes, thank you, more, please, to that energy this week. Joe, overflow and overwhelm and plenty. Okay, so working with, again, decluttering even your mind, just getting yourself into a space where you can kind of see what is overwhelming you just because you haven't dealt with it, just because you're procrastinating. Okay, and just kind of work with that. Robin, thanks for coming yesterday. Deep diver for you, diving into a task. Okay, so this week, get focused. What do you need to get done? Really dive into it. Really focus on it. Remember that power card that we got at the beginning. Your consciousness is about that. Okay, Austin, you're working with a net caster right now, so preparations come to fruition. Okay, so cast those nets and get ready. Okay, because things are going to really start to come to fruition. And give you some more space. So just keep those networks going, okay? And Chris, you're going to work on third time's the charm, you guys, repairing the veil, forgiveness, okay? So we are doing shadow work, we are working with Joyful Muse, and we are repairing the veil. So here's your message for that. Between us all is a thin veil appearing to be a space that separates us. We look through this veil and believe ourselves to be distinct from each other. We assume that our thoughts and feelings are our own. We see bodies and objects and the spaces between them. So we engage the world in relationships between a duality of us and them. This veil serves as a mysterious illusion, making it so hard to believe in our inherent connections and unity. We can't always remember that what we do to someone else, we at the same time do to ourselves. When we claw at the veil of our fear, anger, jealousy, or resentment, manipulate another, misuse our power, or allow someone's actions to diminish us, we create a wound felt by many, not just those of us in the smaller, direct relationship. Okay, there's more there. If it comes up again, I'll read some more. But basically, you're working on forgiveness, including asking forgiveness where you need it and being sure that you are being clear in your actions. Aaron, You got the horned cactus resourcefulness. Okay. So your energy is about using your own internal resources. The message, wherever you go, there you are. Okay. So just kind of paying attention to that. Denise, I made it to the end of the beginning of okay, Denise, you got the empty well. Okay. So it's time to replenish. Give yourself some rejuvenation time this week. You can't run on fumes, okay? So just really notice, especially emotionally, where you can give yourself some extra energy this week. Crystal, third time's a charm for the eye of the eagle, rising above the fray, everybody. So here's the message. So shadow work, inspiration, uh, basically, working with that energy of forgiveness, and now with the eyes of the eagle. Okay, so let's do the eyes of the eagle offers you the gift of foresight, the skill of looking ahead to see unfolding of destiny before it all manifests as reality. The eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to spot the tiny mouse from its lofty perspective as it flies thousands of feet into the atmosphere. In similar fashion, you can train your keen eyes to discern the workings of humans. Okay, so forgiveness, stay above the fray. Keep your eyes on the prize of the future that you want. Stephanie, perfect storm. Okay. So this is going to give you the courage to step into your life. And you might even pay attention to those black birds that might be around to give you a little synchronicity sign that yeah, you might be kind of in it, but it's okay because it's pulling you into more of your own life, more of your own authentic self. Okay. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly, lost compass, okay? Getting back to integrity. So wherever you may have gotten lost or forgot why you're doing what you're doing, this week would be a week to really focus on your true north, okay? What is your true inspiration? Matthew, the falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. So life can be very, very tempting to just get really into thinking that that's all that there is. But this card is reminding you to wake up to your own divinity, to your own connection, to your own source. Okay. Deanna, thanks. You came by too. Oh, and third time's a charm for the moon maiden. So we're doing shadow work so we can have new beginnings, you guys. All right. So let's see what is happening here. This is for all of us. The moon maiden arrives to offer you a new beginning, a new face, a facet of yourself that is aching to be shown to the world. Those qualities that you've been quietly cultivating are ready for the limelight. The secrecy was important, for it protected your new face and kept it what was precious close to your heart. But now it's time to come forward in full splendor. Woohoo! All right, Alicia. Oh, third time's a charm for the benefactor. Grace and generosity. Okay, so joyful muse with our grace and generosity. Here you go. And here's your message. I'm going to read it because it's third time. When the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you are put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts, even in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in the myriad of ways. Okay, so when we forgive and we create forgiveness, that's pretty cool, you guys. I think the week is, although the shadowy stuff is kind of hard, there's the gift of the shadow. Habiba? You are working on heart home. Okay. So some compassion, being compassionate to yourself, having compassionate witness for where others might be struggling, to be compassionate themselves. That's just this week, massive focus on compassion. Eli. Oh, third time's a charm for the lost compass. Maybe why we need to be doing our shadow work. Okay. So 35. Here we go. When the lost compass appears, it is a sign you need to find your way back home, back to your source and center, relying on your intuition to arrive there. Be wary of signs telling you to turn here or there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators are not reliable right now. Be careful not to believe all the advice you are receiving. Rely instead of your inner sense of direction and guidance, and use your homing instinct to lead you true. Okay? So, everybody, outward signs don't work right now. Got to work on the energy of finding our way home in ourselves. Safari Spirit, you're on the unmarked trails. Okay. So you're going to have a revelation of some sort this week. because you go off script, because you go into the unknown, which is what we're all being asked to do this week. Go into the unknown. The map is not available. You are explorers this week. Andrea, you are beloved. Radical acceptance. So really finding where, the unconditional love is available to you. Who's doing that for you? How can you do it for yourself? How can you do it for others? Okay. Cameron, netcaster, preparations come to fruition. Okay. So whatever nets you've casted already and whatever nets you are currently casting, they're going to come to a good fruition. Be sure to network. Be sure to keep track of those networks. Keep those connections fresh. Okay. Rihanna. Okay, Rihanna's working with Root Girl, the disowned self. Okay. So this week, a little bit of a harsh thing with the shadow work to go back and find the places you've lost yourself or left yourself for the sake of other people's approvals. That's what this is basically saying. Go back and recover. Isabel, you got stars in the sky. Third times we've seen this one, you guys. And it's also with lost compass. Okay. So getting back on track to your integrity and stars in the sky. So those both are third time a charm cards. So 51 says, when you look up into the velvety dark blanket of the night sky covering the vast expanse of space, can you count all the stars twinkling above? Can you imagine that you are only glimpsing at a teeny sliver of what's actually there? This is the domain of limitless possibilities, of the never-ending sea of potential that you yourself are made of and can now be at your disposal. Your life right now is alive with possibility and needs your clear focus to home in on what avenue of exploration most calls to you. It's time to choose and not be distracted by the sheer magnitude of what may be. Now we're going to combine that with the Lost Compass. I'm going to read a little more of that. I've already read some. The Lost Compass has come to show you that you need to find new counselors. You're not getting the mentoring you need for your success. Who is that person you're looking up to as a model for what it means to be a woman or a man? Trash that ideal. Tear up your pictures you carry in your mind. You are meant to be you, not the copy of your dearest friend. Okay? So, limitless possibilities. People, we show each other what's possible by being who we are. But at the end of the day, be yourself. Okay? Genevieve, you are working with third time's a charmed horde cactus. Okay, resourcefulness. So this is for all of us. Again, you guys, lots of messages today. Not always do we get like this many messages. When nothing seems to be happening fast enough or your ideas have dried up, you begin to question your relevance. During these periods of life, you might feel like giving up, frustrated and resentful that success will never happen for you. The issue here, however, is the matter of perception. So you're being asked to see that you have all the resources you need inside of you. Okay. Chris, your focus this week, stranger, curiosity. Go into the places maybe where you have not, where you maybe played the act of a stranger or you've made other people the strangers, and go leaning into learning more about them, learning more about yourself. Okay. All right, Gina, mindful groupthink. Okay. So with all the other messages we're getting, just be really surrounding yourself with people who are big picture thinkers, people who want to see things in a bigger way, not the people who are like, you only are allowed to see it this way, or this is the way because I say it's the way. Okay. Stay away from those people this week. All right. I'm going to do a couple more things here. I'm going to throw a card for my husband. So Matt is diving deep into a task. Get it done. Get that task done. All right. And let's go ahead and do our December. Okay. So we're going to start with the Entre deck. Okay. So the beginning of the month, we are in transformation, but it's hard to tell because we're in the labyrinth. So things are evolving, but we also have things to do for ourselves. Take the different path, do the shadow work, all that stuff. Our helper card this month is being honest. Be brave enough to look at your own limitations. Do the work of limiting thought removal. Okay. So this card, honesty, the way it is sideways, is saying take some action on being brave enough to let go of the thoughts that you've been thinking that are not serving you. And then finally, surrender at the end of the month. Okay. So this card is sideways. So what this is saying is be in surrender. Allow things to reveal themselves. Don't plan ahead so much that you can't actually change course if you need to. Okay. All right, that is the December reading. Now let's do the 1, 2, 3 for your personal December card. Ready? Everybody tune in. Do you want 1? Do you want 2? Do you want 3? All right, if you picked 1, you're in a caterpillar opportunity phase. Okay? You're able to move into a space where you are seeing the potential possibilities in December. If you picked 2, the universe is your partner. Hand it over to the universe. Surrender. Be sure to ask for help. If you picked 3, it's me talks. Okay? Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Getting time to just be with yourself and figure out where you may have lost yourself along the way, especially in this stressful time. All right. There's your December message. Go be amazing. See you next week.